We're looking at live pictures now. It seems like some commotion is breaking out once again outside that court. I think we have our correspondent, Shireen Tadros, there. Shireen, tell us what's going on.
Yes, it definitely has got out of hand in the last few minutes. A lot of the people here just began throwing rocks at the riot police, and they had cordoned themselves behind some of these barricades. And what happened just suddenly is that they took down these barricades and they charged. Maybe 200 riot police charged at the people. Really just, I think they just had enough of the sporadic scuffles that were taking place throughout the morning, and they decided to go all out. And now we can see ambulances, 10 or 15 ambulances now just going south. They're deploying along the street. These rock battles, if you like, these rock scuffles between the police and the people here have gone right outside the police academy into the streets, and people are running away from trying to run away from the police. And I think that really the spark that I saw myself is that one of the police officers, one of the riot police, was hit by a rock by one of the people here. He looked to be badly injured, and he was taken into an ambulance. And it's at that point where they seem to have got the command, the rest of the police officers, actually clear this area and fight back against the protesters and people here who were throwing rocks towards them.
We're looking at pictures now, Shireen. It looks like a rather large convoy of ambulances going in. Is that indicative perhaps of a large number of people hurt in those clashes, and rather than the medical convoy taking Mubarak out?
Well, it happened at the same time. These scuffles with the police and the people here, and the ambulances leaving. But the ambulances are going in the opposite direction to where the events that I'm seeing are taking place. So I'm not sure if there's quite a link there. But there were around 15 ambulances right in front of me. Now it's totally empty. They've all gone. But as I said, in the opposite direction. So I'm not sure that the link is quite between what I'm seeing here and the ambulances leaving.
Tell us a little bit about the mood of people there as they watch this very historic last few hours unravel on their television screens.
Yes, and in the first few minutes of it, when Mubarak first appeared with his sons, everyone was quiet. It was almost like a state of shock in a particular square where all the media gathered and where there were tanks and police officers. It certainly seemed to be a calm atmosphere up until about 15 minutes ago, when it really just looked like all hell breaking loose over here, and the police just following people out of the academy and beyond into the streets. So certainly people, when they first saw the former president,
Shireen,
Mubarak,
I don't know if you can see what we're looking at here, but it looks like a lot of people running back towards the riot police dressed in black. What's going on? Is this another attempt to cause trouble there?
Well, what I can see in front of me is that, bear in mind that we were in a certain square, like a media cordon, and the scuffles were taking place in front of me. Now, what's happening is that they've moved to all the streets. I mean, it's literally the whole street in front of us. Essentially, the perimeter of the police academy has got people and riot police. And what's happening is that people are being injured by all of these rock throwing. I don't think it's more serious than rocks being hit on people's heads, but people are being carried away, and police officers too are being carried away because they're injured. So lots of people follow them and try and help them. So that seems to be what is happening now. Certainly in the area where I am, still very, very tense. But the rock throwing at least has stopped in the last minute or so that we've been on air.
Did it look like the obviously everyone would have expected there would be a lot of tension when this trial began. Did it look like the security presence was really prepared for that? At the beginning, it did seem like it took them a while to get into gear a little bit and control the rock throwers, didn't it?
Yes, I think you're right. And when we first got here a few hours ago and we saw all of these Mubarak supporters, the first thing that occurred to myself and the team was, well, surely we're going to get families of the victims who were killed during the revolution that we know were going to come here and watch the trial broadcast live. And, what are they going to do to try and separate these two groups of people? And it became very clear early on that there were going to be some kind of scuffles between the very angry pro-Mubarak supporters and the very hurt people who were here because they had lost loved ones during the revolution. So very early on, it became clear that there could be some kind of potential for scuffles. And the riot police, although they're deployed in their hundreds in front of me and there are army tanks, they were very reluctant to move in, and they really just left people to it. But I think that when it got to the stage that people were attacking the police, and this is really something that just happened during the trial, not something that was happening before the trial. When people started attacking the police with rocks, that's when they seemed to, really decide that that was the red line, and they were going to try and come in and clear this and stop people from getting anywhere near them.
I don't know if you could see there, Shireen, but as you were talking, it looked like the police may have been making some arrests and hauling people off. I mean, we've had, of course, the standoff in Tahrir Square going on for a while. We've got this going on outside the police academy, which is also now the courtroom. How paralysing is all of this for life for the average Egyptian?
Yes, I mean, the Tahrir Square sit-in that was cleared just a few days ago by the military had really put a stop to life in downtown Cairo. Very difficult for people to move around, and a lot of people were against that kind of sit-in, a continuous sit-in, rather than just having spontaneous protests or protests every Friday. These kind of scuffles that we see here between the pro and anti-Mubarak protesters, it's not something that we've seen a lot of since the actual revolution. But certainly I think that this trial shows how emotional people still are towards the former regimes, towards what is happening, and really towards the aftermath of the revolution. And whereas a lot of people thought that this trial would end the chapter, really, and perhaps pacify people if they had seen that there's some kind of accountability and justice coming their way, I think in a way, until there is a verdict, and maybe even after there is a verdict reached, because it's such an emotional subject, we will continue to see a country that's very much on the edge.